Wheeler, and welcome to the prologue for the Avengers movie. Now, the reason for this prologue is simple. The Avengers movie, which by the way has broken all kinds of box office records for this year, including biggest opening weekend of all time, is sort of a composite of several motion pictures. And if you haven't seen the other motion pictures, you might be a little lost with what the Avengers movie is all about. So I'm here to give you a quick little prologue, sort of a cliff notes about all the elements that go into making this particular movie work. First of all, I'll give you a brief history of what the Avengers is. It's started out as a comic book created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby back in about 1963, September of 1963, in fact, and that's the cover of that first issue. The storyline of that comic book is essentially you have a handful of superheroes who had always had their own comic going on, their own storyline, their own universe, but something brings them all together, and for the first time they have to create a superhero team. Now, in the Avengers movie, you're also going to see the introduction of Captain America, which actually, Captain America actually didn't join the Avengers until issue number 4. Which is where they discover Captain America in a block of ice, they revive him, and create the Avengers that we all know and love. But the first comic book of the Avengers is where the Avengers movie takes its first cue. So the first thing we need to talk about is the bad guy. And that's this guy right here. His name is Loki. He is the mythological Norse god of mischief. And he is also the half-brother of Thor, the mythological Norse god of thunder, both of whom are the son of Odin, the god of gods in Norse mythology. So Loki is the bad guy. He's half-brother to Thor, and that's the first trailer we're going to show you right now. It's sort of an introduction to Thor's character.
It's not easy to do what you did. You made my men look like a bunch of minimum wage mall cops. That's hurtful. Would you like to tell me where you received your training? Afghanistan? Chechnya? Who are you?
I have sacrificed much to achieve peace. For through your arrogance and stupidity, you have opened these peaceful realms and innocent lives to the horror and devastation of war.
You are a vain, greedy, cruel boy. And you are an old man and a fool!
You're unworthy!
Father.
I now take from you your power! And I cast you out!
Please, open your eyes.
Oh no, this is Earth, isn't it?
Where it comes from?
Your ancestors called it magic. And you call it science. I come from a place where they're one and the same.
He has disobeyed his king. His fate is in his own hands now.
I will end this.
So, what you didn't see in that trailer, and unless you saw the whole movie, is that the gods of Valhalla rely on an energy source. This energy source is currently residing in a cube called the cosmic cube, or in many of the films it's referred to as the Tesseract. That's the cosmic cube. The cosmic cube in the comic book universe was first introduced into a Captain America issue called He Who Holds the Cosmic Cube. And it was purloined by the villain, the Red Skull. Now, in the 4 or 5 different movies that make the Ultimate Avengers movie, we first see the cosmic cube in the motion picture of Captain America. It is discovered by the villain in that movie, the Red Skull. And ultimately it is lost at the end of the Captain America movie in the Arctic. It is ultimately discovered, though, by the Americans, and it is this cosmic cube, this Tesseract, that Loki, Thor's half-brother, is trying to retrieve. So let's introduce the character of Captain America through the trailer for his movie.
I know this neighborhood. I got beat up in that alley.
You just don't know when to give up.
I could do this all day.
Do you have something against running away?
You start running, they'll never let you stop. You really gonna do this now? There are men laying down their lives. I got no right to do any less than them.
I can offer you a chance.
Our goal is to create a new breed of super soldiers.
When you brought a 90-pound asthmatic onto my army base, I let it slide.
I am looking for qualities beyond the physical.
You win wars with guts.
Grenade! Everybody down!
Is this a test?
He's still skinny.
Whatever happens, stay who you are. Not just a soldier, but a good man.
Is it too late to go to the bathroom?
You actually did it.
Who the hell are you? The first of many.
Hydra is the Nazi Deep Science Division, led by Johann Schmidt.
He thinks he's a god, and he's willing to blow up half the world to prove it.
You're not even close to this technology.
I asked for an army and all I got was you.
Congratulations. You just got promoted.
Mr. Stark?
I had some ideas about the uniform.
You're gonna get so many girls.
Captain, we are much alike. I don't know if I can do this.
You won't be alone.
What made you so special?
Nothing. I'm just a kid from Brooklyn.
Now, as you saw, Captain America is literally a man out of time. His whole experience is back in the 1940s and the beginning of World War II. He is lost at the end of that motion picture in a deep frozen sleep and revived decades later into the current 21st century. So he is still a man living in the past, hasn't quite become fully accustomed to all the mores and issues of the current time. So in the Avengers movie, that's what you'll notice most about Captain America. So, the Cosmic Cube is retrieved now, and it is discovered and put into the hands of Nick Fury. Nick Fury is played in the Avengers movie by Samuel Jackson. Now, in the Marvel Comics, Nick Fury was always presented as basically a white guy with an eye patch on his eye. He started off in World War II. He was a commando, a soldier, who also got to know Captain America during those years. and has somehow, although I forget how, been able to survive up until the present time as well. In the Marvel Comics, though, about a decade ago, they decided to create a sort of alternate reality in which Nick Fury was a shaved-head black man. And what the artists for Marvel Comics decided to do was they decided to make the character look like Samuel L. Jackson. Not because Samuel L. Jackson had anything to do with the comic or the character, but they decided it would be clever, hey, let's draw this character to look like Samuel L. Jackson. Well, of course, when talks started to happen over creating a whole movie franchise from these different superheroes, Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor, they had to cast a Nick Fury character as well, and who better to cast in the role of Nick Fury, who looked like Samuel L. Jackson, than the actual Samuel L. Jackson. So that's why Samuel L. Jackson is the character of Nick Fury in all the previous superhero movies and in the Avengers movie. Let's talk a little bit about the Hulk. Now, in the first initial comic book of the Avengers, the plotline there was Loki was trying to get back at his brother Thor, whom he despises, and he used Hulk as sort of an unwitting pawn in this scheme. He wanted to make the Hulk look like a bad guy so that all the Avengers would go and destroy Hulk, and then Thor would realize the mistake he made and be disrespected or whatever. I don't recall exactly. At any rate, that's why the Hulk has been brought into the whole Avengers franchise. And here's the trailer for the Hulk movie.
Let's hit the gamma radiation.
Countdown started.
Nanomeds released.
Bruce, I don't understand what I just saw.
It's like the gamma released something that was already there.
My son is unique, and the world will not tolerate his existence.
What did you do to me?
I improved on nature, a million times more powerful.
My God. I need everything we have to stop his movement.
You will only fuel his rage and make him stronger.
You know I never hurt you. When you're left with no choice.
I'm sending her a surprise visit from some friends of mine.
When you're pushed too far.
You pathetic freak.
Don't just get even. You're making me angry. Get mad. I don't think you're gonna like me when I'm angry. And unleash the hero within. From director Ang Lee.
We're gonna have to watch that temper of yours.
So that sort of brings you up to date on who Thor is, who Captain America is, and who the Hulk is. Now, there's one guy we've left out, and he started off the whole movie franchise, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Now, Iron Man, or his name in his real life is Tony Stark, is a multi-billionaire weapons dealer who has a change of heart, decides to become a philanthropist, but he's still got quite the playboy attitude about him. Very narcissistic, very ego-driven, but very much trying to do the right thing, and of course has got a ton of money. So as Iron Man, Tony Stark joins the Avengers as well. Each of these heroes, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, and Captain America, is at the end of each of these movies, all of which are good to see. Each of these superheroes is approached by Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, and asked to join the Avengers. But first, let's see a little bit of the Iron Man trailers if you haven't seen the motion pictures for Iron Man.
This
Mr. Stark.
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
What do you say to your other nickname, the Merchant of Death?
That's not bad.
They say the best weapon is one you never have to fire. I prefer the weapon you only need to fire once. That's how Dad did it. That's how America does it. And it's worked out pretty well so far. To peace.
Is it cool if I take a picture with you?
Yes, it's very cool. I don't want to see this on your MySpace page. Please, no gang signs. No, throw it up, I'm kidding.
You have till tomorrow to assemble my missile.
I should be dead already.
Unless it was for a reason.
I just finally know what I have to do.
That doesn't look like a missile. What are you building, Stark?
I'm working on something big.
Center.
I'm sorry, he's very eccentric.
I want one.
No.
Our priority is to get the Iron Man weapon turned over to the United States of America.
I am Iron Man. The suit and I are one.
Contrary to popular belief, I know exactly what I'm doing.
What? Come on!
Mr. Stark displays textbook narcissism. Agreed?
Yeah.
So, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, and the Hulk. In the Avengers movie, you'll see two more characters that are introduced. That is the character of the Black Widow, played by Scarlett Johansson, and Hawkeye, played by Jeremy Renner from The Hurt Locker. Also the latest Jason Bourne movie. Black Widow she started off as a Russian espionage agent who has flipped over to the American side. You actually see her in the Iron Man movie. Let me show you those clips again of Scarlett Johansson's character.
I'm sorry, he's very eccentric.
There she is real quick.
I want one.
No.
So in the Iron Man movie, she's introduced as somebody completely different than the Black Widow. She is the Black Widow, but she's a spy. So Tony Stark doesn't know she's this Russian espionage agent who's actually working for Nick Fury. He thinks she's his new secretary. So that's how we introduce the Black Widow character into the Iron Man franchise. Then, of course, she makes a reappearance, as you will see, in the Avengers movie. Hawkeye is only seen briefly in the original Thor movie. And you wouldn't catch it if you didn't really know who you were looking for. So if you see the entire Thor motion picture, another good movie, look for the agent who is helping the government subdue Thor when Thor breaks into the special facility where his hammer is housed. you'll see that Nick Fury tells Hawkeye, hey, you got to go get that guy. So Hawkeye decides to go grab a gun, but instead of a gun, he sees a bow and arrow on the wall, and he grabs the bow and arrow and goes to take out Thor using a bow and arrow. It's a brief, maybe 2-minute appearance in the Thor movie, but that's your introduction of Hawkeye, who plays a much more prominent role in the Avengers movie. So did you follow any of that? You've got basically 4 motion pictures that had all come out prior to this Avengers movie. Hulk, Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man. Marvel Studios introduced each of those superheroes individually in their own film so that they could come out with the Avengers film, bring them all together for the first time. So, you have Loki the bad guy, who's after the Cosmic Cube or the Tesseract, both the same thing. You have Hulk, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, and Hawkeye, Nick Fury, and the Avengers. Enjoy.
You were made to be ruled.
In the end, it'll be every man for himself.
What do we do?
We get ready.
There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people. So when we needed them, they could fight the battles that we never could. Gentlemen,
What are you prepared to do?
No offense, but I don't play well with others.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that away. What are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. If we can't protect the Earth, you can be damn sure we'll avenge it. Dr. Banner, your work is unparalleled, and I'm a huge fan of the way you lose control and turn into an enormous green rage monster.
Thanks.